Hello everyone, K-Hertz here and welcome back to another video. With inzoi being a month away, Crafton set up an AMA in their Discord so they could answer our most burning questions. I wanted to discuss with you the topic that stood out to me the most. The biggest question that was asked about hairstyles, specifically ethnic hairstyles. There were not a lot of curly, kinky curls for black people in the demo version of Cat back in August last year. So the team have been working super hard and 3 times as hard.
The designing of it and putting it into textures, into actual material assets in the game is super complex because of how they're structured. So when you're creating just a straight hairstyle, you go boop, one line, done. So it's much easier that way. But when you have to make these very super curly, because you can't just make an outside exterior. Let's say you're creating an afro, right? You can't just create a circle and be done with that. That doesn't look realistic. You have to actually go through all these little curls to make that, once you zoom in, especially when you zoom into it, you have to make it look really realistic. So with that, it's very difficult.
I am personally excited to see what they do for black hair. I am a black curly hair girl myself. And when I was playing the Cat demo, I have made myself. So if you want to check out the video, there will be a card and a link in the description. Last year, there were a lot of complaints about the Zoi's body type and how narrow you were only able to make them. You will now be able to make a variety and have better range for making bigger and skinnier Zois.
Small you can make your Zoi has been very much improved on his end, but it also has to go into notice that as a result of doing that, there are instances where, we have, pixels kind of sticking out of objects, as an example. And you have these instances that are not obviously intended, but were kind of the side effect of being able to make Zois very big. You have these, instances where we have pixel spills and things that don't look as natural, but that's kind of the choice that they made, that even though they kind of have that little drop in quality in terms of that aspect, providing that more customizability and flexibility for the players when customizing their character. He thought that was the more important thing. So he took that sacrifice just a little bit to make sure they can provide that for you guys.
They weren't specific with the range, so we will have to see when early access come out. There was also a question about adjustable height. You can adjust them, but however, like in the real world, the male Zois are taller than the female Zois. They wanted the animation to look more normal and natural as much as possible. Is there lore in the game, and who is Psy-Cat? This question was asked frequently about who the ragdoll cat that is being seen around everywhere. Psy-Cat is the face of all of the advertisement of inzoi. She's a female cat that helped work at the company. She was seen at GameCon 2024, where Crafton displayed a booth that had Psy-Cat looking down at the company as if she was the bigger play at hand in the game. Someone had asked, if Psy-Cat was a god, can we even make a shrine about her? Which is not possible. Psy-Cat was a god previously, but was changed to be more of a supervisor, a guidance into helping us. I love the lore back when inzoi first started out, where she was like a higher being, like the owner of the company. But apparently they changed it. There are no implemented storylines per se, however they will be providing what to be like a guide to help give you a foundation on who you are and what your purpose is in the game. They mainly want to give you creative freedom and experience, as they always say. Obviously, everyone wants pets in the game like they have them IRL. There are technically already pets in the game, such as pandas, cats, tigers, alligators, and many more. But can we have wild animals as pets? That's the real question. Some created an interesting idea that have caught the director's attention. What about using smart joys for animals? If you guys don't know what smart joy is, you can check out this video, the link is in the description. They replied they don't want to limit just smart joy to the human characters, but they want to add it to every living thing. Adding smart joy to other species will be later added in the future. Seeing the video of smart joy have made me even more pumped because it makes me feel that I can be more connected and more attached to my Zoe characters, and imagine all the storyline. It was highly requested for shared interaction with families in the game, like children and their parents or other family members. There are not a lot of family physical interactions at the moment. There are a few social interactions that are added. For example, your child inzoi can walk up to their parent and ask them to do the laundry. I admire the little details with stuff like that because realistically your child can't reach and turn the washing machine on and know the functions of how the washing machine really works. So I admire the little tiny details like that. This question was interesting to me. I was low-key not surprised that someone asked this question, but also pleased they would ask. Because when the question was being answered, poor Joel looked so shy and he was beating around the bush. The game itself was rumored to be rated 12, but on Steam it says rated teen. I still don't know the right question, the right answer for the age appropriate, what the age range is for this game yet. The best answer they could give us is sort of. In the game testing a year or two ago, you can see your Zoe snuggling up with one another to show they'll be getting frisky. How much will be shown when the early release of the game is out? I think nothing in that department have changed. It will most likely still give us that cutscene. The stages of pregnancy. There's a lot that goes in when a woman is pregnant. There is joy and beauty and the pain and bad side. I know a lot of people want more details and depth with Joy being pregnant, myself included. In the inzoi Discord, there's a whole topic discussion about it. One person that goes by the name Dia Chalin was writing a lot on this topic, and I was amazed and inspired. So if you guys want to see that, the link is in the description. The directors have stated, compared to the previous version when it was in testing, there are more interactions while a Zoe is pregnant. Things like announcing their pregnancy and hormonal changes. Their bodies would not enjoy the food they normally eat, and new interactions with babies. Unfortunately, this is not their biggest priority due to more being added in the game, but it will be in the works later in the future. When a Zoe enters a shower or bathtub, they immediately have towels around them. I firmly don't approve, for that is not realistic.
Is that when you have other games who can take that route of just blurring out the private parts when they go into shower and when they go into take a bath, or even just use the toilet, right? You have to see all that, but with this being blurred out, everything's okay. It's possible because the graphics are not intentionally realistic. So some games take the cartoony route, and some games may take the realistic route, but obviously the graphics doesn't look that realistic. So that when you have those blurred motion, blurred kind of overlay over those parts, is that it looks acceptable. It looks okay. But once you have characters that look as realistic as you have in inzoi, what happens is that when we can apply that exact same blur overlay over in that instance, but what happens is that it becomes very, very realistic in the wrong way. So like it becomes very, very it can become very, very sexually suggestive because of how realistic it looks.
My thought behind it, there should be a toggle for the sensor to be turned on and off. That's just me. Multitasking will be a plan in motion in the future. They most likely have run out of time before the release date because they have answered they will be prioritizing it in the future updates since it's a very important feature. They want to make it where it feels more lifelike and natural. There are, however, a few adjustments that have been added, such as single interactions and actions. This is the feature that I've been most excited about for the game. I've never seen this type of feature in any video game before. There have been more added to this feature since the last time it was being tested. We are able to convert 2D images into 3D objects. Before, we were able to print out the 3D object just to place as an aesthetic. We now can place an assemble object on your inzoi character. And in build mode, you place 3D object as a previous feature. We can now print and assign objects in certain categories so they can be interactive. I'm intrigued to see what that entails and how it will all come together. For the mechanics of the car, they plan on prioritizing the accuracy and quality of simulation that are nearby. The things you see, like the cars around you, can be more prioritized.
As inzoi was designed to be a very, very different game from the likes of it, GTA, where driving and being in the car is one of the core experiences of the game and the core objectives of the game. He thought that the priorities were a little bit less with inzoi in terms of the actual driving experience, but more to do with kind of customizing your car and making it look all pretty. That's something that he will definitely work on in the future, but that's why he thought personally that maybe the driving mechanics was less of a priority for inzoi. But with that, I will read out Leonard's pre-written answer to this question. It said that the reason why we couldn't add more advanced mechanics for driving in inzoi is that currently we are working on a simulation for the city where not only do you have the zois that appear on the screen being simulated, but you have every zoi that is off screen. So we have up to 300 zois maximum at a time in a city. Have all those zois be constantly simulated and have their own stories being developed, regardless of whether they're on your screen or not. So yeah, so that's a lot of computational work that they're obviously implemented, but also have been optimizing to get that smoothly for all of you guys out there. Because that was a priority, to have very complex mechanics for cars being implemented, in addition to that community simulation is what we call it for all the zois in the city being simulated, was too much of a load at this time. So while it might not be the direct solution to what people are wanting with the realistic mechanics, he'll think of a different way to improve this experience so that it doesn't feel clunky.
What makes jobs in inzoi life simulation different compared to other life simulation games? They wanted us to have these experiences directly, and all the jobs are active jobs. They wanted us to be immersed in going to an actual job. I find that very refreshing. New relationship will be formed going into the workplace. There will be a separate category for work social interaction. A whole new promotion system where if you make good progress in your job and you have to do your job right and you actually thrive in it, you will most likely get higher income and probably a bigger, more important title. Are there more flexible jobs where you're not at work all the time? Freelance positions, to me, give the impression that it's like a branch off from the jobs. I'm assuming where you make your own timing schedule and money, which is the objective. We are near the end of the video. What do you guys think about the new updates that are added to inzoi? Be sure to let me know in the comments. With inzoi being a month away, my excitement gets more spark. Thank you so much everyone for watching. If you liked the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I plan on making more intriguing content. All my social and my sources links are in the description, so be sure to check it out. Bye everybody!